ABC7 News at 4 with Linda Yu, Alan Kraszewski, Healthbeat with Sylvia Perez, Weather with Mike Kaplan, and Sports with Jim Rose. This is ABC7 News at 4, Chicago's #1 news.
Yes, here's what's happening now. These guys, they've got the idea, sweeping, and they are hoping that's exactly what the Chicago White Sox do tonight to the Astros.
So after last night's remarkable game, fans around the country focusing on Game 4, possibly the final game of the 2005 World Series.
And outside the United Center, look at this. Basketball superstar Michael Jordan, his statue anyway, in White Sox gear. And that statue will be joined by hundreds of baseball fans there tonight.
But right now we have to begin with some breaking news.
Yes, and it is unfortunate news at that, because within this last half hour, authorities down in Mississippi has confirmed that the body found in a burned out chicken house late last week is that of a missing Illinois State University student. Olamide Adeoye vanished October the 13th. She was last seen at a video store near her off-campus apartment in downstate Normal. And on Friday, workers cleaning up a chicken house down in Mississippi that had burned earlier in the week found the woman's body. Authorities in Mississippi used dental records to make a positive identification. ABC7's Sarah Schulte is in Normal. She'll have the very latest details for us from a news conference on our news at 4:30.
But now we turn back to the other major story we are covering, the Chicago White Sox. They are just one game away from being World Series champions. From Chicago to Houston, White Sox fans hoping for a sweep in Game 4 against the Houston Astros. Last night, pure magic, putting the Chicago White Sox one win away from our first World Series championship title in 88 years. A lot of Sox fans are very optimistic that the team is going to sweep tonight. First pitch for Game 4 in about 3 hours from now at Minute Maid Park in Houston. We have two live reports for you right now. ABC7's Rob Johnson talked with a lot of sleep-deprived White Sox fans who stayed up late last night or early this morning to watch last night's and this morning's entire game. But first, let's go to ABC7's Jim Rose, who is at the game, joining us right now from the Juice Box. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Linda. Hi, Alan. In order to begin with game number 4, or to set it up, we must go back to game number 3, and there were many heroes for the White Sox in that 14-inning contest here last night. You can start with Joe Creedy, who hit a home run in the 5th inning to start it all off, or perhaps Jermaine Dye's shot that scored Scott Pasednik, or A.J. Przinsky's double that gave the White Sox their lead at 5-4 in the 5th inning. But nothing tops reserve outfielder Jeff Blum's game-winning heroics. They come straight from a childhood dream. To Minute Maid Park in Houston last night we go, and most fans here never thought it would be a marathon. In the 14th inning, reserve outfielder Jeff Blum lived out his field of dreams when he smacked Ezekiel Estacio's pitch to right, and the White Sox were on their way to a 3-0 series lead. Now Mark Burley, who won game number 2, came out of the bullpen, and he got Adam Everett to pop out to Juan Uribe, and the White Sox win 7-5. Jeff, this is the kind of moment you dream of on the Little League sandlots, and I mean, on the biggest stage, it happened for you.
Yeah, it did. It's pretty unbelievable how things were going. Thank you. It was pretty unbelievable how things worked out. You know, it came down to last man standing, and we were running out of bodies on the bench, and guys were getting tired and hungry, but it worked out well, and you're right. You know, I've had about 100 of these at-bats in my backyard with my brother and a couple wiffle balls, so yeah, it's something that's going to hopefully will sink in after we win game 4.
What is it about this team that every night someone else does it, and you guys are close-knit, and it's been happening like this all season long?
Well, I think you said it right there. It happened all season. It's been happening all season long, and I don't think anybody in here ever gives up faith. You know, Burley sacrificing himself and coming out, and, in a safe situation. DeMasso hadn't pitched it in as long as I had hit, so him coming out and doing the job he did against these guys in this ballpark is pretty special. And you got to give credit to those 5 runs that we put up in the 4th, 5th inning. We got good hitters, and they made it happen.
Reserve infielder Jeff Blum, what a hero he was last night. He's the only guy in that White Sox clubhouse that I talked about that said that they are going to win game number 4. I'm sure they all think it, but many of them are just trying to keep an even keel for this, as Freddie Garcia will pitch tonight against Brandon Backey here in game 4, the World Series between the Houston Astros and the Chicago White Sox. We'll be back with more during sports, live from Minute Maid Park in Houston. I'm Jim Rose, ABC7 News. Linda, I know you're going to be watching this game tonight.
Yeah, again and still.
Everybody will, Jim, that's for sure. And there's certainly somebody else who's going to be watching this game once again. There was one woman sitting in the stands last night who was proudly saying, "That's my son." And I'm talking about Jeff Blum's mother, Connie. She watched him hit that home run in the 14th inning, his first at-bat during the postseason. Simply thrilled to be there for her son's historic moment and the big game winner.
It makes all those years of serving nachos and snack bars worthwhile. It was wonderful. We have no voice left. We left California at 5:30 this morning, and it's just been awesome.
And when we spoke with Connie Blum, it was about 1:30 in the morning, and she told us there was no way that she would fall asleep. There were a lot of us, actually, in that kind of situation last night, I think.
And I think her adrenaline has kept her awake still,
yes,
right?
yeah,
But there
I'm sure
were
it has.
a lot of sleepy heads on the job today, including right here. ABC7's Rob Johnson joins us live from the United Center, where fans will be able to watch the game on television together there tonight. So, Rob, how late did you stay up watching?
I must admit that I only made it to the 11th inning. I was covering a party down in Tinley Park last night, and I know those folks stayed up and had a terrific time, but it was amazing. As everybody woke up today, everybody a little bleary-eyed, moving a little bit slower, a Sox hangover, if you will, but it always feels pretty good when it's a victory. And you know what? They're all hoping to do it again tonight.
The longest game in World Series history. Blum.
The early morning theatrics in Houston kept much of White Sox Nation up late, really late. That was fairly evident at a news conference at the city's fire academy this morning.
I know that many of you, like myself, probably are a little bit sleepy. 5 hours and 41 minutes, was it?
His Honor himself spent the evening in Washington watching the game before flying back early this morning. Adrenaline is now keeping him going.
Everybody was in the mountain, and then we went down to the valley, went back and forth that whole game. I mean, everybody yelling, screaming, this guy about this player, that player.
New York Steak dinner, right?
Yeah. At Valois Cafeteria in Hyde Park, manager Bill Bogris caught all of the game, then had to be at work at 4 a.m.
It's worth it. I'm going to go home, take a nap at 3 o'clock, and be back at 7 to watch the game with my buddies.
John Riggins Jr. was savoring the Sox win and his breakfast, which he was eating at noon. After all, he stayed up late.
I had to get me some breakfast. I'm in Velour. I just woke up. I had to get me some coffee. I get the meal. You go to Velour's, and we're waiting for the game tonight.
Meantime, at Henry Hampton Floral in the South Loop, Tyler Gray is trying to focus on his flower arrangements, though focusing is not an easy task today.
I knew at 3 o'clock everybody was cheering. You could go on the street, everybody was going crazy and stuff, so I think everybody's just dragging all over.
Back live outside the United Center, there's Michael Jordan in a Sox jersey. That gives you an idea of just how crazy the town is. Of course, he did play for the organization briefly, so it is somewhat apropos. And they're going to have a viewing party here tonight at the United Center. Tickets are $15, and initially they said it was open seating, but we've been told by Bulls ticket personnel that it is reserved seating. So you come, you pay your $15, and you get a specific seat in the 200 level. If they fill up the 200 level, they will start filling the upper levels of the 100 level. So a big party here tonight at the United Center. For now, live outside the United Center, Rob Johnson, ABC7 News. Linda, Alan?
All right, Rob, thanks very much. Now, remember, as he was saying, the United Center, they will have that viewing party tonight. The party actually starts at 7 o'clock at the United Center. Remember, you can buy tickets for $15. If you didn't get all of that, the information is on our website at abc7chicago.com.
Have you seen it yet? I'm talking about the coveted World Series trophy. It's now in Houston. This morning, it took a plane from New York to Texas and was heavily guarded along the way. Police there escorting the trophy on its journey over to Minute Maid Field. This trophy is designed by the world-famous Tiffany Jewelers, and a representative of Major League Baseball wearing white gloves unwrapped, there you see it, unwrapped that prize. And he's going to be holding onto that trophy dearly until the White Sox can bring it back home to Chicago, hopefully by tonight. Now, the first pitch for tonight's Game 4 coming just after 7 o'clock this evening. It's Sox pitcher Freddie Garcia trying to finish off the Astros tonight, and Houston sending Brendan Backey to the mound this evening. And stay with ABC7 for our extensive live coverage of the Sox in the series. As we've told you all week long, our Mark Giangreco, Jim Rose, John Garcia, Charles Thomas, all 4 of them in Houston. Skokie police today are investigating sexual harassment allegations by some middle school students. An 8th grade girl at McCracken Middle School says that she was harassed by several boys in her class after school last week at one of the boys' homes. Skokie police say that something did happen, but exactly what happened is unclear. There was a report of a similar incident with another 8th grade girl at the school last week. The school district and Skokie police are involved in that investigation as well. And people who escaped Hurricane Katrina are now calling Chicago home. They were given a chance to find a job here today. Olive Harvey College was packed all afternoon with job hopefuls. About 50 major companies and organizations were accepting applications and conducting interviews on the spot. And while this job fair was organized for Hurricane Katrina evacuees, the fact is anyone looking for a job there was welcome.
Damage estimates in Florida from Hurricane Wilma now up to $10 billion. Long lines have become the norm as thousands wait for hours trying to just get ice or some water. The Federal Emergency Management Agency is telling people to be patient. At least one distribution site in Miami-Dade already is out of emergency supplies. It will be later tonight before those supplies there are restocked. And millions of people will have to spend another night in the dark. Florida Power and Light estimates it's going to be 3 to 4 weeks before everyone's electricity can be restored there. In Cancun, Mexico, they are estimating it's going to take at least a month to restore electricity. The situation is still very difficult for an estimated 20,000 tourists who've been left stranded following Wilma. Some flights did resume today, not enough though for everyone to get home. Shelters remain overcrowded, and now some in the Mexican government fear that with no electricity or a sanitation system that disease might break out soon.
Topping our business news today, there's some good numbers for Chicago-based Boeing.
Jill Bennett, first off Wall Street, joining us live from the NASDAQ market site. That's in New York's Times Square. Hi there, Jill.
Hi, Jill.
Hi, Linda and Alan. Boeing's earnings more than doubled last quarter to more than $1 billion. Now, Boeing and arch rival Airbus both had a surge in orders this year from fast-growing airlines in India and China. However, Boeing's machinist strike did weigh on deliveries. We had shares finishing lower on that, to down 3% to 65.02 on this session. It did, however, raise its forecast for this year and next, but a slide in the defense unit sales, which didn't really help the stock. Let's take a check on the overall market numbers now, and you can see how everything wrapped up. We had the Dow lower by 32 points today to 10,344. The NASDAQ off by 9 to 2,100 on the session. Well, are you feeling a little bleary-eyed today? Stayed up a little too late last night watching a certain World Series game? Well, those late-night games usually mean workers are a lot less productive the next day, you may have noticed. In fact, this White Sox fever means Chicago businesses stand to lose $34 million for every half hour of unproductive work time during the series, and it skyrockets to $307 million lost if the series goes to Game 7. And this is all from outplacement firm Challenger Gray and Christmas. Kind of staggering numbers there. Linda, Allen?
Productive. We were productive today.
I think so.
I can barely speak.
I really think, yeah, I know. Are we awake here? I think this is not a dream. I think we're just too productive in general, don't you think?
That's
But even if you're talking about the game, they call that unproductive.
Oh, that's unproductive time.
Come on.
It's part of our jobs to talk about the game,
Absolutely.
so that's good. But some businesses do profit, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's expected there are about, 4,000 people in Chicago just for these games, or were for the games, and back and forth like that. Also, the area businesses. There's usually a pickup in restaurants and bars when you are in the World Series. So all of those usually stand to benefit.
And all those people on the street selling White Sox caps.
And they benefit, that's for sure.
There you go.
In a big way.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jill.
Now, if you can withstand more chilly temperatures, though, tonight, a weekend warm-up is around the corner. Hooray. You're looking at a live picture right now from Chopper 7 flying over the north side. It's gorgeous out there, doesn't it?
Sure is. Yeah, beautiful.
Some sunset. Mike Kaplan's full forecast is next.
A little later on today on our news at 4:30, we have new details about the death of that missing Illinois college student. Her body found in Mississippi.
A 210 horsepower PowerTech V6, 2 available 4-wheel drive systems, 5,000-pound towing capacity, and one feature that really attracts attention. new 2005 Jeep Liberty. Get an 05 Liberty with $3,000 cash allowance plus $500 owner loyalty allowance for returning owners or lessees.
With a pull-in Pro Snow Thrower from Menards. The exclusive Infinite Drive lets you clear a path at your own pace. This 8.5-horse dual-stage model with electric start is only $699. Save money on your energy bills with 3M window kits on sale now. This kit covers up to 5 interior windows, just $10.99. Service, quality, selection. Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Nice fall day out there today. You see the sun is getting ready to set there out to the west.
That's right. We're going to show you a picture in a moment. But first, I want a little shout out to all fifth graders that I spoke to today in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, where's
the
this?
Mill Street School in Naperville.
Oh, sure.
And as a thank you token, I received several items, including this book about Naperville right here. Learn all about the town. And I looked through. It's like alphabetized, A to Z.
A to Z.
Nothing there about George Pradle, however.
How can
Letter
that be?
P did not include.
Mayor Pradle
he will
not
not stand for that. We must get George
New
in
edition of the book.
He's in the book flap, perhaps.
He's in the flap of dedication. But a great day out there with the fifth graders at Mill Street School. They're looking for lots of snow this winter. We'll see if that happens. Right now, we have crepuscular rays in the sky. Ooh.
Sorry to hear that.
Crepuscular. Wait, a little penicillin will clear that right up for you. These are actually shadows or sunbeams being created by breaks in the cloud cover. They look to be like not parallel. They really are. Kind of like looking at railroad tracks in the distance, how they kind of converge. But that's crepuscular rays. Mostly cloudy skies, 49 out at O'Hare. Winds are northwest at 10. Our high today, 52 after a frosty morning low of 35. 22 the record low, and the sun's going to set at 5:52. 50 at Whiting, 49 now at the lakefront in Midway, 47 in Green Oak, still hanging on to a 50 in Lyle. A look at the radar shows just a couple of little sprinkles moving into LaPorte County, Indiana. Not much at all. We may see that continue later on tonight, but for the most part, it's just going to be mostly cloudy and dry here. Another little weak disturbance dropping in from the north, all orbiting this main area of low pressure, that powerful nor'easter that dumped all the rain up in the northeast with the gusty winds that at sometimes were close to hurricane strength in parts of New Jersey and Massachusetts. Our next weather maker is going to be this cold front. It's a Pacific front, so the air behind it isn't going to be brutally colder, but we stand a chance of seeing some rain with that on Halloween. High pressure's in control for the moment. Tomorrow, a few more afternoon clouds may bake up again, but other than a sprinkle or two, it should be dry for us. Again, waiting on the arrival of that front on Monday. 53 for our high tomorrow, but the warmth building on the plains. We'll start to see our temperatures climb on Friday. Then you notice a pretty appreciable jump in temps here as we get toward the weekend. Mostly cloudy this evening, chilly. Temps will be in the 40s. Mostly cloudy, some inland frost, kind of like last night, 35 to 43 for the temp spread. Then tomorrow, clouding up, a couple of sprinkles possible, but no big deal. 53 degrees for the high. Then our warm-up, 58 on Friday. That's about average for this time of year. Then we shoot up into the mid-60s here. Saturday and Sunday look great. Chance of rain, unfortunately, on Halloween afternoon and evening. Tuesday and Wednesday just slightly cooler, but temperatures mid-50s, average for the early part of November, which is what that will
coming
be
up. Hold on. Hard to
Before we
believe.
know it.
Hard to believe.
All right. Crepuscular rays.
Crepuscular rays.
We learn so much from you. Thank you.
I'm making that all up.
Nice looking sun rays, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Awesome.
Thanks, Mike.
Next up, at what age should you give your child chores to do around the house? How about 8 or 9? No. How about 4 or 5? That's next in today's Connect with Kids.
First, though, here are today's winning lottery numbers for you.
Is Illinois headed for a California-style energy crisis? The Tribune says political gamesmanship in Springfield over electric rate setting puts Illinois' energy supply at risk. The Daily Herald assails the governor's heavy-handed meddling, and Crane says political tampering with the energy markets could lead to bizarre and costly consequences for our state. Illinois consumers need a plan, not more politics. Call us today because the clock is ticking and reliable energy is too important a risk.
3. Illinois losing jobs. Rod Blagojevich raising taxes.
Blagojevich's taxes were driving jobs out of the state.
Ron Gidwitz brought everyone together. He led the fight to block Blagojevich's new taxes, and he even cut some of the old ones.
Blagojevich was wrong. Wrong. His taxes weren't the answer.
Ron Gidwitz beat Blagojevich once.
And I'll beat him again.
Ron Gidwitz, tax fighter, proven leader.
Legends always lead.
For over 50 years, Jack Binion's uncompromising vision has been at the heart of everything we do. And our commitment to offering the best odds, highest limits, and biggest jackpots remains as strong as ever. So come and discover legendary winning only at Jack Binion's Horseshoe Casino Hammond.
Teaching children responsibility at an early age can do more than help you around the house. In today's Connect with Kids, ABC7's Judy Sue reports you are actually laying the groundwork to help them succeed in school.
Many parents try to jumpstart their children's education by teaching them colors, letters, and reading to them at bedtime. But it turns out there may be another way to get them to excel in school. Since she was little, Kristen has been doing chores around the house.
When I was cleaning, she always likes to clean, so I would give her a dust rag and she would dust or use the feather duster to dust around.
Now at 5, she sets the table, helps with the dishes, and vacuums the floor.
And without being told, she goes into the laundry room and gets the vacuum and she vacuums it up, wraps up the cord, puts away the vacuum.
According to a study of 379 children published in the Journal of Personality, kids who had more responsibilities at the age of 5 were more likely to have better grades and better behavior in school as 8-year-olds.
When you get to school, you have multiple step directions of things that children are expected to do. If they've been practicing that and listening to parents and following things in a sequence at home for several years, I think it is more automatic for them.
She says simple chores also help a child develop a sense of confidence and independence. She says if parents are paying attention, they will get cues from their child when they want to help out.
So if you can catch them when they want to do things independently, it's a great time to encourage that and help them move forward.
I know too many parents who their take is, it's easier if I do it myself. I'm too much of it's done. Let me just do it. Let me take care of it. No, you sit down.
Experts say the key is to make sure that for the preschool child that whatever they do is something they want to do and is not a chore. For Connect with Kids, I'm Judy Sue, ABC7 News.
If you would like more information about today's Connect with Kids, log on to our website. That is at abc7chicago.com. Remember to click on Extra Info.
Still ahead, right here on ABC7, White Sox fans, of course, could be celebrating a world championship tonight. And city officials have a plan in place for keeping rowdy fans in line.
And some Sox fans are cooking up a sweet victory party of their own.
And I'm John Garcia in Houston. Coming up, we will hear live from the man who wrote and sings the Sox unofficial theme song.
And a bit later on, we do have new details now on the discovery of that missing college student who was found dead in Mississippi.
ABC7 News at 4 continues.
Drives into right field, deep down the line, in the corner, and it's a gunner! A home run for Blum!
Jeff Blum joins a long list of White Sox home run heroes. Creedy, Konerko, Podsednik. He belts a game winner in the 14th inning, giving his team an almost insurmountable 3-0 lead in the World Series. And you like to hear this, no team has ever come back to win the World Series after losing the first 3 games.
We all know that, but we also know that the Sox still have to win one more game to claim that championship crown. And if they do beat the Astros tonight, well, then the city of Chicago has a plan in place to handle the big celebration. ABC7's Chuck Gowdy, live from the city's west side with more on that plan. Chuck?
Alan, the city's Joint Operations Command Center is now in operation here at the 911 Emergency Call Center. The JOC, as they call it, brings together law enforcement officials with other city officials. They can keep a big eye and overview of what's happening on the streets of the city of Chicago. Now, that said, city officials are discouraging people from coming downtown tonight. They are encouraging people to stay home and watch the game at home. Although they say not everybody will listen to that. And so Chicago police this afternoon say they are ready for whatever happens, wherever.
Our focus will be on Division Street, DeSalle, Bridgeport, and Western Avenue. Sufficient police personnel will be on duty to assure the citizens of Chicago can enjoy something that hasn't happened in 88 years. Safety is the primary concern of the Chicago Police Department.
This is what Chicago police and city officials are hoping to avoid, the kind of uncivilized behavior that followed several Chicago Bulls title victories. Especially in the first years of the Bulls championship NBA run, there was violence scattered citywide, from fires and shootings to incidents of looting and ugly clashes with police, largely committed by people who had no interest in the sports title but took advantage of what should have been a moment of glory. So beginning tonight, the police post-game strategy ordered by Chicago's first deputy superintendent includes mass arrest plans if crowds become unruly. The ABC7 I-team has learned that 100 Detective Division officers will be assigned to prisoner processing teams, and 25 additional squad roles will be on the streets to cart off violators. Tactical and gang teams, normally in street clothes, will be in uniform tonight, ordered to wear what's called battle dress, black fatigues and bulletproof vests. 9 dog teams will be assigned citywide beginning tonight, and 18 special weapons SWAT officers will be on alert. Police will post 3 gas teams in case crowds become violent and need to be dispersed. And police helicopters will oversee both north and south side celebrations. Police will be escorting all paramedic units on Sox-related runs tonight. There will be several special no parking zones and some areas blockaded with iron and wood barricades. The plan, we've learned, has reinforcements on standby, including 40 riot-trained state police troopers staged at a West Side facility, and from the Cook County Sheriff's Department, 6 mass arrest buses that will be curbed along 35th Street near the ballpark.
Chuck, just to let you know about, this is a great city, as you know, with good people in it, and I think the celebrations will be peaceful and respectful. I'll take a bet on that one.
All our intelligence is this is going to be a joyous occasion when the Sox win it, and we don't expect any problems, but we're going to be ready in case there are.
One thing Superintendent Klein says has been borrowed from the post-Chicago Bulls police playbook, and that is they have gone to bar owners in various parts of the city where they expect celebrations to occur and asked that they do not serve beer in cans or bottles, that they serve it in paper cups and styrofoam cups in the event that those things could be turned into missiles if things get out of hand. Reporting live from the West Side, Chuck Gowdy, ABC7 News. Back to you.
So, Chuck, that's how the city is going to handle the public celebration. What about city plans for a city celebration? Rallies, parades?
The real fun.
Right. Well, clearly there will be a citywide celebration, but the city doesn't want to announce the plans for that specifically until after the White Sox actually win the World Series title. If they were to win tonight, however, you could bet that it would probably be on Friday, probably in Millennium Park or at least on Columbus Drive. The city tentatively would plan to make those announcements tomorrow morning, but a little bit of business has to be taken care of first, and that, of course, is out of their hands.
All right, we'll see what happens. Thanks very much, Chuck. Meantime, thousands of Sox fans all over the city watched the game to the final out. That was after 1 in the morning. Some got very close as they could to U.S. Cellular Field. They watched the game at a bar in Bridgeport, just a block away from the stadium. Then, downtown at Harry Carey's, they ended the more than 5-hour game with a big cheer accompanied by an organist playing a very familiar song. Now, most of the fans are rooting against an extra innings game tonight.
I don't think our nerves can take it anymore. Some Sox fans either didn't go to bed at all or they got up before dawn to prepare for a confection celebration at the Beverly Bakery. They made up dozens of cakes, cookies, cupcakes, all of them, look at that, dedicated to the Sox. And they were ready there for the big rush of fans and business.
I purchased 7 White Sox cupcakes. I'm just ecstatic over the White Sox.
We're overwhelmed, and that's a wonderful thing for the business. It's a very good thing.
And hopefully they'll be ready to do it all over again tomorrow morning.
All right, look at your watch. The White Sox about to take the field in Houston for batting practice. Earlier today, the players' wives were joined by a special guest to promote a charity in the Houston area. ABC7's John Garcia joins us live with that part of the story. John?
Linda, you know, a few weeks ago, I'm going to tell you a little bit about something else that happened here today at that charity event. But long before the Sox even imagined they'd be here in Houston celebrating a World Series, they were struggling pretty mightily, you might recall. In fact, right around that time, they heard the song from 1981, the Journey song, Don't Stop Believing. They kind of adopted that as their unofficial theme song. Well, they never did stop believing, and since that time, they have lost just 1 game in the last 3 weeks. So it is appropriate today that perhaps we hear from the man who made that song famous.
As the Sox try to nail the coffin shut on the Astros, they've brought in one of their own heroes to make sure they don't stop believing. Steve Perry, the former lead singer of Journey, says he wrote the song in 1981, but it's become the unofficial theme song of the 2005 White Sox.
I can't put it into words. It's an honor is what it really is. It's the best word I can come up with. It's an honor that they accept such a song.
Perry is here to support the White Sox. He's become a huge fan, and he's also lending his support to Habitat for Humanity, who with the support of Major League Baseball is building homes for Gulf hurricane victims. Some of the White Sox wives are here as well, talking to volunteers, even pounding a few nails. Meeting Perry, however, is a huge thrill. A.J. Przynski got to meet him last week.
Yes, he did, and was thrilled. It was like one of the highlights of his whole World Series experience. So he'll be thrilled that I got to meet him today.
Perry has been following the Sox throughout the playoffs. He met with a number of players after the games in Chicago over the weekend. And the song, which was a huge hit in the 80s, is now helping the Sox get some big hits at the plate.
It's a song about hope, not to give up, you know, follow your dreams, chase after the most wildest aspirations, like wanting to be a successful singer / performer.
Winning the World Series after 88 years?
Or World Series baseball player, because I'm starting to see there really is no difference.
Perry is just an incredibly nice guy. You know, he retired from the band a while back, but he says he does still sing a little bit in the shower and in the car, places where you can't get a huge audience. Nevertheless, he is working on a DVD of Journey's 1981 Escape Tour, which includes that song, Don't Stop Believin'. Coincidentally, that DVD, he says, to be released in about 2 weeks, just in time to celebrate what he hopes will be a White Sox World Championship. Live in Houston, John Garcia, ABC7 News. Alan, back to you.
Okay, John, I hope that you survived the DJ with the 70s night music going on down there in Houston as well. You know, it's a good bet that the late Mayor Richard J. Daley would have been very pleased to see his Chicago White Sox sweep the World Series. And in a way, he's not being left out of this series. His grave monument at Holy Sepulchre Cemetery in South Suburban Worth is adorned, as you can see here, with a giant black and white wreath. There are Sox flags by the memorials for him and his wife, Eleanor Sis Daley. Richard J. Daley first met his wife at a White Sox game.
ABC7's Jim Rose is live with more on the Sox a bit later on in sports. Then on our news at 5 o'clock, Chicago's Hispanic community wild about their Sox. Thousands stayed up late to watch their team. Then on the news at 6, you will meet the man who helps White Sox second baseman Tadahito Iguchi communicate with reporters as well as fans.
Up next here, though, on our news at 4:30, we're going to learn more about the body of a missing college student found down in Mississippi. We are live from Normal, Illinois with that story for you.
And then we are wondering what a pair of bank robbers were thinking, holding up their own bank.
On the Healthbeat today, parents can now choose the sex of their child, but what is the impact of that decision? Breaking story to tell you about now. There's an accident on the inbound Chicago Skyway that's been causing some problems here. There actually was a car involved here that involved in a rollover accident. You're seeing the debris here and what's left over. They've already cleared the cars away here. But this is on the inbound Skyway at Cottage Grove. All the lanes blocked there on the inbound side, as you see from roughly from the toll plaza there coming up as you're coming toward the Dan Ryan at Cottage Grove. The outbound side's okay. No word on any injuries as of yet.
Now, as we reported to you at the beginning of this newscast at 4 o'clock, a body that was found earlier this week in Mississippi now has been identified as that of missing college student Olamide Adeoye. The Illinois State student from the western suburbs disappeared from her Normal, Illinois apartment almost 2 weeks ago. ABC7's Sarah Schulte joins us live from Normal now, where police talked to reporters this afternoon. Sarah?
Well, Linda, police believe the body of Olamide Adeoye was dumped in a Mississippi chicken coop, and then that was set on fire. Police do not know how she was killed, when she was killed, where she was killed, and most importantly, who killed her. Police say all of that is still under investigation. For the past 2 weeks, the Illinois State campus has been on edge. Students have been worrying and wondering what happened to 21-year-old Olamide Adeoye. But now their worst fears have come true. A badly burned body found in an abandoned chicken coop near Jackson, Mississippi, has been identified as ISU senior Olamide Adeoye.
Currently, that's under investigation as to how her body arrived there or how she got to Mississippi. And we can't comment on that right now due to the nature of the investigation.
Adeyoye disappeared from her off-campus apartment on October 13th. Her car and a bed comforter were also missing. Police continue to search for those items and the person who killed her.
We continue to investigate individuals that may be involved or have information regarding this case. We are still actively searching for her vehicle.
ISU students are relieved that her body has been identified, but they're in fear about who may have killed Adeyoye.
If it was someone like she knew and stuff, that could be someone that goes here, it could be someone I might know, you know, and it's nerve-wracking, it's scary, it's really scary, and it's a sad situation.
It still makes you wonder what actually happened and who actually did this. Was it a student, was it someone that she knew, or was it just someone in the community that did this?
Now, police do believe this crime was not random. Right now, they are talking to several persons of interest, although they would not tell us who those people are. Also at the press conference, the ISU president did speak. He assures everybody, all the students here and their parents, that this campus is a safe one. Live and normal, Sarah Schulte, ABC7 News. Linda, back to you.
Okay, Sarah, thanks. We'll pick it up from here. Well, two thieves did all the wrong things when they decided to hold up a bank in Colorado earlier this year, and it's got us wondering, frankly, what were they thinking? Because not only did these men choose to rob the branch where they did their own personal banking, but then they took pictures of themselves flashing the money. You see the pictures here. FBI agents caught up with them at an airport. They were trying to buy some plane tickets to Mexico. Yesterday, instead, both men sent to a different trip. They're convicted. They'll be in prison now for the next 5 years.
Coming up next on Healthbeat, a more convenient way to administer a popular ADHD drug may soon receive government approval.
And then, in sports.
And I'm Jim Rose, live at Minute Maid Park in Houston, where the Astros are taking batting practice for tonight's Game 4. We'll take a look back at Game 3 coming up later in sports.
On our Healthbeat today, boy or girl? Or there's a new study that looks at the controversial procedure that is known as gender selection.
And Sylvia joins us with details.
Linda and Alan, a first-of-its-kind clinical trial is underway with hopes of measuring the social effects of choosing the sex of a child. Some people are actually doing this through a procedure called pre-implantation genetic diagnosis, or PGD. It allows them to select male or female embryos, which are then implanted in the uterus. Researchers at Baylor College of Medicine in Houston have enrolled 50 couples who already have a child, but now want one of the opposite sex. The study, reported in the journal Nature, will look at the health of the babies as well as social factors as the children grow up. While gender selection is legal in the U.S., the controversial procedure is banned in other countries. It is being called a major scientific step in the field of genetics. It is set to help speed up the research to find genes that promote common illness ranging from heart disease and cancer to Alzheimer's and asthma. Scientists have completed a map that charts patterns of human genetic variation in the world population to better understand human biology and distinguish one person from another. Finding disease-related genes is important as a means for diagnosis, prediction, and developing treatments. Currently, genes that predispose people to common disorders are extremely hard to find. This study can be found in the journal Nature. Children who are prescribed ADHD drugs may soon have a choice, the patch or the pill. A new patch system delivers methylphenidate. That's the main ingredient in Ritalin, Concerta, and Methylene throughout the day. The patch is made by Novan and Shire Pharmaceuticals. It is the first ADHD drug that does not have to be taken orally. Studies have shown the patch works at least as well as the pills. It does have similar side effects, and one of the benefits is the effects appear to last longer from the pill than the usual 10 to 12 hours. The company is now waiting for FDA approval. And that's Healthbeat.
All right, Sylvia, thanks.